Hi guys, Steve from TuneTech Suspension. First, I'd just like to say thank you for trusting us to set your bike up. It does mean a lot. We appreciate your business. First video that we do want to run through is your sag measurement. Sag is very critical. If we're out even 3 or 4 millimeters on our static sag, the whole bike can feel either lazy and low in the rear or very high in the rear, and can make the whole bike feel very stiff, especially the front fork. A lot of the time that we're doing testing with people or we're helping people over the phone after we have done a setup, is they'll be calling about the front fork and how that feels. And the first thing I ask them is, where's the static sag set at? If it's out, it's pushing onto the fork and can actually make the fork feel very nervous and stiff, and makes the whole chassis feel stiff. So it's very critical we get this right. We're going to use a sag scale. It's just a measuring device. You can use a tape measure if that's all you have at home, but we did want to just run through the correct procedure to get this right. It is critical that this happens, so hang around and we'll show you how to do it. It's time to do our sag measurement. First thing we need to do is we need the bike up on a stand. The wheels need to be off the ground. When we're using the tool or the tape measure, we need to make sure that we have a reference point and we're using the same reference point every time. And that isn't just here, it's also down here. Like if you're hooking on your tape measure on the swing arm near the axle, make sure it's always on the same area. This particular bike has a sag arrow that we can utilize. If your plastic for your bike doesn't have this, you can use a texter or a bit of tape, something to that effect, but just make sure we're always using that same reference point. So the first thing we need to do is we need to zero out our tool or take the measurement with a tape measure. And you need to write that number down. So our tool's zeroed out. Now off the stand. Now the reason we're going to do it the way we do it is in every single rear end of every single motorcycle, there's a friction point, and some are very minimal. Some are like 3 to 5 millimeters, and some are upwards of 20 millimeters. It just depends on how much friction they have internally in the shock, in the swing arm bearings, linkage bearings, all of those sorts of things. Now what we find, say on a Yamaha, they have so much friction on the piston band internally while the shock's cold because the aluminium hasn't grown yet. We get a very big discrepancy. In some easily we see 18 to 20 millimeters. So this is how you measure it correctly. We need to push down on the back of the bike and let it come up as slow as we can to find our lower friction point. So we will check that number. And we're at nearly 50 millimeters there. We'll bring it up, down as slow as we can. And we're at 40 millimeters. That tells us from the middle of those two numbers is our sag. That would be 45 millimeters. We want to achieve 40 millimeters on this bike. What the numbers you need to achieve will be on your sheet. So we're going to put this up on here. We're going to put more preload on the spring. Since we've got too much sag, we need more preload. And opposite if it's the other way around. If you've got not enough sag, we need less preload. So we'll get it up on the stand now. We'll undo the lock ring. We'll make some changes and achieve our 40 millimeters. Okay, we just had it up on the stand. We've put more preload on every spring. We need to achieve 40 millimeters of static sag. So we'll check that out now. Same thing, push down, up as slow as you can. Have a look at the measurement we've got. 45 we're at now. So up, down as slow as we can. We find that friction point, and we have 35. So that means in the middle of those two numbers, we've got a 10 millimeter discrepancy in friction. But that means we've achieved 40 millimeters. So this is critical we get this right. You could imagine on a Yamaha, if you don't find your upper and lower friction points, you can be adjusting your spring, recheck it, and it could be another 10 millimeters the other way, and then you wind it off because it's too high, and then you'll check it, and then it's even higher because the friction point is making it sit wherever it wants to sit. So if you do your sag measurements this way, it's the most accurate you're going to get it. Okay, we're going to lock up the lock ring. We've got these couple of tools here. You can use a normal hammer. We obviously don't in here. We like to protect everyone's stuff. So we've got a proper soft blow hammer, and we've got a proper tool. It's got a brass end on it, which doesn't damage any of the lock rings. But we'll go ahead and do it now and just show you. So we'll just do up this, turn the lock ring down. So it meets. And that's right to go. We will still take this back off, recheck it, make sure the lock rings haven't moved too far. Sometimes the top one will turn the bottom one, then we hit the bottom one back. But this is a critical stage, and we can't emphasize that enough. Once this is done, we'll now move on to the next video, which will be all about our fork height, fitment, alignment, and the fitment of the front wheel, and how important that is. Once these two procedures are done, you're pretty much right to go. Now, in regards to your actual sag measurement, we wanted 40 on this bike, but your bike might want 37 or 42 or whatever it may be. That will be on your instruction sheet that we hand over. So whatever your number is that we've written in there, that's what you need to achieve. If you have any other questions, you can call us on this. Send us an email if you need to, but this is very critical, and we can't emphasize that enough. All right, guys, happy riding.